All right, another eagerly anticipated arrival. A Chinese movie from Japan. And, oh, not you. Shang-Chi in spectacular 3D. Now, if you don't know, Google has a terrific visual option, so you can use your phone to figure out how to navigate these Japanese menus. Now, speaking of subtitles, I'll come back to that towards the end of this. Now, I have a tendency to overpraise, allow enthusiasm to cloud my judgment. However, here I feel I am on fairly safe ground when I say 3D-wise, this movie is absolutely amazing. So much is just done right. What was striking is just how big they made everything. The car interiors looked absolutely massive. I've never noticed so much spatial definition inside of a car. One area where this expansive interior really feels great is during a fight on a bus early in the movie. Usually 3D would make a setting like this feel super claustrophobic, but here it kind of had a gymnasium feel, which kind of worked with the loose logic in play. Bad guys kept coming from the back of the bus, and if it felt small and tight, it might give a clown car impression. But the space felt infinite, so it really sold the idea that it was possible for a gang to come from every direction and have room to swing and jump and punch. I wonder how much of this bus was CGI. I also wondered why you would ambush someone on a bus midday instead of waiting until they're sleeping off a night of drinking. I suppose that's the wrong question when you're having fun. Now, there's lots of other fun stuff to see. There is a forest that moves and traps you in. It must have been a nightmare to convert to stereo, but these long, thin trees are so easy to see and see past. What struck me about the forest is when you're in it, you really feel that you can see in as deep as you care to look. Sometimes with forests in converted 3D, you can actually count the layers before they stop going any deeper. Here, and again, it all feels real, even though it isn't real at all, but it felt like it was far beyond what I'd actually notice in nature, and that's exactly what I want in a 3D movie. Now, what also struck me were some of the long shots. I felt had a little more detail than you normally get in establishing shots. Many mountains had a little bit of definition, and I really liked that they just didn't leave the background flat. And a helicopter flying off that actually sticks out from the sky, that was great to see. Now, we're given this cool glass fighting ring with dangling chains, which seemingly existed for the sole purpose of looking cool in stereo. Now, what a glass fighting ring, what a brilliant setting for 3D. Just being able to look past it and see all the crowds from a distance through the scaffolding holding it up. And there's something awesome about seeing a face mashed up against a window. The scaffolding was a joy to behold. Not just the cagey look to it, but you get inside and look down the rows that, again, stretch out infinitely into the background. Usually, when you get these die-hard moments, the background feels flat with the person descending into the flatness. But here, the scaffolding gives you reference material to judge how high up you are and really emphasizes the danger. When you see details, there's something about seeing things pop out that makes things just feel like they're all pieces on the chessboard. When you have a background that's kind of flat or, blurry in regular 2D movies, it kind of sends it away. It's just, it might as well be a curtain. But when something's in stereo, it comes alive and it feels like it's working together. It also feels dangerous. I noticed in this movie how all the extra stereo details kept my tingly senses on alert. Now, look at these wood carvings. I mean, what a great 3D idea. Was this CGI or did they hire someone to create it? Do you think archaeologists will find this 4,000 years from now and believe it to be a historical document of our times? Oh, and a jaw-dropping sequence of a floor map drawn by water. Again, I wonder if they just sat down and converted every drop, or did they have a stereo version of the CGI done up and just converted some composting to match. I mean, look at this. Oh, what a terrific showcase moment for 3D. I mean, this scene doesn't even make sense in watching it flat. I mean, this is just wow. I mean, there's so many moments here when I watched this where I just sat back and said, wow. This was a rare movie that I watched the second time almost immediately, having watched it the first time. And it was expensive to buy this, and it's not the first time I got an expensive import from Japan. But this was really the first time where it really felt almost worth it. Now, going in, I knew nothing about this Shang-Chi. From what I'm told, decades ago, Marvel wanted to make a comic based on the Kung Fu television series, but failing to get the rights, decided to make something based on Fu Manchu instead. So this isn't a new invention, though it wasn't quite at the top of the Marvel comic heap. It did gain a respectable following, I'm told. So although Marvel may be digging deeper into their barrel, they're not yet scraping the bottom of it. It is a respectable fighting story with dazzling eye candy. Now, from time to time, the characters speak Chinese. Now, are there English subtitles on this Japanese release? Well, yes and no. If you watch the English language version, there is no translation, neither spoken or written. However, if you turn on the English subtitles, then the subtitles remain in English for the Chinese parts. Now, it's disappointing because 3D does not like subtitles, and I would prefer to leave them off. However, to their credit, the subtitles are intelligently placed and moved so that they do not interfere with the stereo, which I actually haven't seen before. Recently it was mentioned to me that ancient China did not actually believe dragons were real. Rather, the idea of a dragon was just a means to describe a type of earth energy that flowed in a serpentine-like pattern. Here, too, these 10 rings may not be real, but they use them well to describe a gripping type of power, which didn't have meaning when the character was content in his life, but when he lost everything and was in a state of powerlessness, then it became insatiably attracted to this power. And it got me thinking how easy it is to spend a lifetime battling the feelings from a single moment in time.